Let's talk about all this. With us now to sort it out, the author of Independent Nation, How a Centrist Can Change American Politics, John Avlon. He's worked on Bill Clinton campaign, and he worked on Rudy Giuliani's campaign. Bernard Whitman is with us as well, former pollster for Bill Clinton, and the deputy chair of the Republican Party of Pennsylvania. Renee Moore is with us. Good to see all of you. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
A lot of people are saying that, you know, to go down this road and to say that there's some sexism involved here. And you've said it's not sexism, John, but
I think it's just due diligence. I don't think the American people should have to apologize for asking questions about someone who's asking for a constitutional office that's a heartbeat away from the presidency. That's their right, and it's our responsibility to do that. And you can ask responsible questions and get people information without being sexist at all.
I don't really care. I'm talking about me now. I don't care what her daughter's done.
Yeah.
I don't care about a lot of things. I care to know what's up with this ethics investigation, because I think that the American people deserve to know in advance as much as they can about what's been going on with someone who is a heartbeat away. And I also care to know how it is that she has governed and will govern. Is it your sense, let's start on the end, is it your sense that we know enough, and further, that we've been given enough access? The truth is, the Republican Party went dark yesterday. There's so much swirling, they just seem to be dodging, and you can't blame them. They wanted to have her big moment tonight. But do we know enough?
You know what? I think we'll get to know more, especially tonight. She's going to kick it out of that hall. You don't know a whole lot, and that's okay. But I do think it's sexist when you're calling folks the woman or the empty suit. That's the issue that the Republican Party has, Chef, and we're not going to take it. Today, women leadership came out and said, you did it to Hillary, you're not going to do it to Sarah Palin. We don't care. I'm like you. I don't care about her daughter. She's not going to run the country. What I care about is who she is, what she is, and how she's going to help me get food on my table, gas in my car, and have a J.O.B. That's what it's about. And you'll get that information tonight.
You know, more on the daughter. It is interesting, and I think it's worth exploring how it is that as a mom she handled such a thing. I think moms across the nation would want to know that, and I think they have a sense for how she handled that situation. And I think people in homes across America can say, I think that was good, I think that was right, or I think that wasn't, and I think it was wrong. It's up to the people. We need a little more.
Shep, what bothers me about Sarah Palin is the fact that she is a divisive distraction. I mean, time and time again, she has brought religious and social issues into the public debate where they don't belong. As a small town mayor, she was talking about abortion when she should have been talking about roads and crime. She's trying to ban books in libraries. She's trying to get people fired for doing their jobs.
Books in libraries. Tell people a little bit more about that.
When she was mayor, one of the first things she did was to call up the librarian in Wasilla and ask how we could start banning some of these books that people are complaining about. That is not a mainstream American value. Calling Iraq war God's will is not a mainstream American value. And I think we need to understand exactly who Sarah Palin is.
Some people do care about that. The base of the Republican Party cares about those issues. And from everything I've heard about the base of the Republican Party, they love her. They love what they know of her. Last night in the Xcel Energy Center, as this was going down, the loudest applause of the night repeatedly was for Sarah Palin. And the next loudest was when Fred Thompson talked about life and choice.
That's right.
Now, all of that said, that solidifies the base, John Avlon.
Yes,
now is it possible that John McCain will go out and be able to rule the middle, since you got the base locked in with the governor from Alaska?
Well, that's
politically, it seems, I don't know.
Sure, the selection of Sarah Palin, no question, has energized the base around McCain's candidacy. It's, I think, helped close that enthusiasm gap, and that's a big deal politically. But all partisan talking points aside, because we can get real noisy on these stages, kind of throwing accusations at each other, this is a constitutional office. This is bigger than politics. And that's what the level we should be discussing this. Looking at her executive experience, which exists, which doesn't exist on the Democrat side.
But I think it's time to get away from the culture wars and get to the debate around the economy, healthcare, Iraq, the environment.
And I want to do that, but I have to take a commercial break, so I'm going to hold you guys over if you don't mind, since we're out of time right now. We'll come right back with more of this. Have we been given the opportunity to know enough? Was this Hail Mary pass in the best interest of the nation? More on that in 2 minutes. Back at the RNC in St. Paul, Minnesota, I cannot overemphasize what a spectacular day it is here. And tonight it's going to be a red meat night, largely. The campaign tells us, look, we're going to attack, we're going to attack, we're going to attack, we're going to attack on legitimate issues that the American people need to hear about. And then Governor Palin's going to come up, and she's going to tell us something. Our panel's back with us, and we were talking just a moment ago. It always has seemed to me that when you vote for a president, you're also voting for the vice president for president just because of the fact that you really are a heartbeat away. And it seems to me that a lot of people are asking, all right, if I were voting for her for president, this 44-year-old woman, 44-year-old person, I don't mean it in a sexist way, I would say man, if it were a man, a 44-year-old person who was the mayor of a small town, a town of 6,000, until this election cycle. To me, this election cycle had begun in 2006, so until this election cycle, her experience was that as a mayor of a town of 6,000.
You know what? She has more than just that. She's a parent, okay? She's dealt with her kids. She's dealt with the day-to-day grassroots things that we deal with every day, with children or without children. That's experience right there. You're bringing that to the table. First of all, if you can deal with the Girl Scouts being cookie mom, you can do anything.
That's very true, but so have 150 or 200 million Americans. And we have had 2 years to understand who Barack Obama is, what type of leader he would be, the type of people that he would surround himself with.
And if I may, people have been able to say, I don't like him for the following reasons. Here's what I know, and I don't like him. Or here's what I know, and I love him. Or here's what I know, and I think he's the better of two evils.
But I don't think I still know him.
Well, all I'm saying is we've had 18 months to find out as much as we can. We've had 18 seconds here. That's all.
Yeah, and I think you need to be fair and accurate about the comparison. 18 months is an intense period of vetting by the American people. It's a lot of due diligence. If someone can become president overnight and we don't know what their policies are, their instincts are towards countries like Russia or China or any of the thousands of policy positions that the president can act on and change the world overnight, that's a legitimate issue.
And truthfully, John, I don't think we have time to learn about Sarah Palin. We've got less than 2 months to go in this election, and I just don't think we have time to get comfortable with someone who's going to be a heartbeat away from the presidency, particularly with the little that we do know. I'm certainly
the American people are smart. Exactly. We have 65 days or so to figure this out.
That's right.
But there's no question she is new to the scene. There's a lot of analysis that needs to be done. She has executive experience. She, by all accounts, has done well as the governor of Alaska over the last year, but only over the last year.
If they needed to accomplish one thing, if John McCain's campaign needed to accomplish one thing, and you only could give one, I think that arguably most Republicans would say it's energize the base. And the bottom line fact is here, he did it.
You're right.
Now we got months to go.
You're right.
And we'll be on it.
And in those days, you'll find out and you'll feel better. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you tonight.
All right,
thanks, guys. John McCain will have some tough competition when he talks to the country tomorrow night. Can you believe this? Not only from Barack Obama, who, as you've probably heard by now, will be on Bill O'Reilly, but also from the National Football League. My guy Eli Manning will be sharing the stage, and next we'll speak with the Hall of Famer and one-time political candidate himself, Swanee, in 2. Our political panel's back with us, John Avlon, Bernard Whitman, and Renee Moore. I'm really excited to hear Governor Palin tonight. I mean, our understanding of what's happened is they'd sort of written a generic speech for some guy, and now that generic speech doesn't work because she's not some guy. So she's been all hands on for a couple of days.
Absolutely. I saw her this morning because I was over at the center this morning early. She was on stage. She looked comfortable. She's not nervous. It was interesting because the teleprompter was on, and it said to all the alternate delegates and delegates welcome you, and I was waiting for the rest, but that's all I got for you.
Can you imagine a couple of years ago, you're governor of a small town in Alaska, and now with this opportunity, and especially given the knowledge that the base of the party that you love so much is embracing you like a member of the family who just came home?
Yeah, the energy is going to be huge tonight in the convention hall, and I think it's going to be so strongly Sarah Palin that some folks in the media are going to be very surprised just how 100% behind her they are. I think this is going to be a speech where she's focusing on her record as a fiscal conservative, as a government reformer, as someone who's rooted out corruption, really trying to draw those lines between herself and John McCain in a direct appeal, not just to the base, but independents. But given her performance the other day, I think she'll be strong.
And Bernard, I bet the Democrats have one, I would assume they have one concern. If you be honest with me, I bet you'll agree. It's going to be harder for Joe Biden to be attack dog in chief, because it'll be so easy to do just what the Clinton campaign did, and that's slap a sexist label on him, and
Shep, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think that Sarah Palin is probably a fine individual. I think she's probably a great mother. I think she's probably a fantastic, upstanding citizen. But I want to take a minute to debunk this myth that has been floated around by Republicans in these last few days that somehow she has more experience than Barack Obama or Joe Biden. I mean, that is just ludicrous. Barack Obama has been working as a community organizer, as an Illinois state senator, as a U.S. senator for 2 decades, working to provide real solutions for real Americans, working to provide earned income tax credit to expand early childhood education. And I mean, I think that putting his record against her record is a little unfair.
Well, we were talking about what a big moment it is, and
it's exciting. I'm so happy, but you made me nervous, Shep. I'm so happy, but you make me nervous.
Don't be nervous. You got to get up there tonight.
Don't make me nervous.
Good to see you guys.
You too.
An anarchist plot